Hey, what's going on, folks? Welcome back to the Real Legend of Gaming, man. We are back with some Clash Royale. Now, big things are happening, right? As you guys always know, there's always a ton of hype towards the last week of the month because you know that the balance updates are approaching. So this time around, the balance updates will be available coming January 7th. So on Monday, you guys will see these changes go into effect. Now, in this video, we're going to do a couple things. First, we're going to discuss the changes, obviously, right? But we're also going to give our opinion on it. And I'm going to basically tell you if I think a card really will make an impact in the meta going forward, if you guys should try to use this card in the deck, or if you just should stay away from a card completely, all right? So we're going to discuss those things in this video, all right? So let's get into those balance changes, folks. Now, Clash Royale has really been stepping up their game when it comes to announcing any type of news or changes. So instead of me just reading off the website, I thought I'll just show you the video they put on Instagram. The video that they put on Instagram, which really explains the balance changes, and it looks really nice as well. So let's get into that. All right, so here goes the Clash Royale Instagram post. So right here, you see that the heal is getting an elixir cost reduction. The duration is changing. You see that the Magic Archer's first attack is going to be faster. The Goblin Giant's hit points is going up, and the Spirit Goblin range is increasing. The Golem's Golemite def damage pushback is being reduced. The Freeze tower damage is being reduced as well. Sparky's range is increasing. The Battle Ram's charge damage is decreasing. The Barbarian Hut's hit points is decreasing as well. So there's a lot of nerfs in this change. Barbarian Barrels deploy time is being reduced, and the Valkyrie is getting a slight buff. So those are the changes, right? And just in a quick sample video. Now let's explain them in more specific terms. All right, cool. So now we're going to reference the patch notes because that video does a great job of just showing you what's going to be nerfed and changed and just give you some slight of explanation, right? So for the heal, right? Basically, it's going to go from 3 elixir to 1. And I already know you guys are going crazy about this. I see the posts online. I see the memes. And trust me, it is something to worry about. Heal is going to be a game changer. Ash already talked about it in his video. And folks, it's going to be a strong dynamic. I mean, for a one elixir spell card, forget about it, man. Imagine how this thing will make cycle decks even more dangerous. Just think about that, right? Because if you're able to do a 2.6 hog cycle, and let's say you substitute maybe the Ice Spirit for a heal spell, your Hog Rider is going to get healed up. So that means like if you guys had some type of push where you threw down some guards or you threw down some skeletons, if you're able to log those Skarmies away and then throw the heal on top of your Hog, forget about it, right? So that's going to be something to really consider. Now, of course, Clash Royale is not going to make a totally stupid move, right? So they lowered the duration from 2.5 seconds to 2. So that half second could make a difference. And the healing per second is being reduced as well. So it's going down 63%, which is a lot. So it's going to take a little bit longer for the heal to actually be effective. So let's see how it plays. But this is a good change because the heal spell went from being a card that they wanted to ban from the game completely to now being a card that could be used, and I'm afraid to even say that it might even have a spot inside of the competitive scene. Next is the Magic Archer. To me, this was a correction, right? The Magic Archer should have never been nerfed, right? They changed the whole interaction on how fast he attacks. The targeting system was changed. So now the Magic Archer's first attack will be faster, and that also includes when he targets on a new unit. So I think this will help the Magic Archer, and it won't be OP. Even though I never thought it would be OP, but to be fair to everyone else who did, this change will keep them pretty balanced. The next one we expected, right, is the Goblin Giant. The Goblin Giant's HP is going up, and the Spirit Goblin range is increasing. Now, HP is self-explanatory, right? 3% is not a crazy amount. It's a nice little touch. But the Spirit Goblin range increase is pretty interesting, right? So the Spirit Goblins that are inside the backpack of the Goblin Giant are going to be able to attack further. So they're going to be able to get units a little bit quicker and are able to clear the crowd for the Goblin Giant in a much better manner. Now what happens is once the Goblin Giant is dead, the Spirit Goblins drop out the backpack and they return back to their normal status. So that's one thing I want you guys to know, that the Spirit Goblin's range is increasing only when inside the backpack, because if you want to be technical, its vantage point is much more better when it's on top of the Goblin Giant. So that's something that I wanted to point out, right? Because it's not necessarily explained in here. Now the Golem, it got a nerf. I don't think it's a crazy nerf. I really don't. Because this thing's still going to be massive, and I wouldn't take this as don't play Golem anymore. That would be a foolish thing to think. So the Golem Knight's death damage will be pushed back. It will be reduced, right? The pushback will be reduced. So basically what happens is when the Golem first gets broken down, it does a pushback that moves your units away pretty fast and far away. So what happens is that death damage pushback is going to be reduced from when the little Golemites are damaged, which kind of makes sense, right? If it's a Golemite, it shouldn't have the same effect as a full Golem. So this makes sense, and this really could have been a change that could have just been done internally, because it's not that noticeable. I don't think it's going to be anything that will impact. Now the freeze, the tower damage is going down 65%. Folks, don't go crazy. Every spell had the tower damage reduction put into play. So freeze should have had this from the beginning. This is more like a correction, because that tower damage from the freeze really made it like 2 spells in one. So this was a good change. Sparky. Oh, Sparky. No one can save her. That's all I gotta say. 6 elixir, legendary card. It's pretty useless against air units. I will not call her a trash can on wheels, because I do like Sparky. It was my first legendary card, so there's an attachment there, right? So this change here is going to be the range is going to go from 4.5 to 4.75. So Sparky's going to be able to attack further. Do I think it will make a big difference? Not too sure, because again, Sparky is really slow. So by the time that it does actually make it across the bridge, I'm sure that you already have your counters in play. And if you got your Mega Minion or your Baby Dragon or your minions, Sparky's done. Unless they have some type of support behind it, but in most cases, the Baby Dragon and the Mega Minion combo can get that done. So I already use those in decks all the time. So those might be 1 or 2 cards you might want to incorporate into decks, just in case people go Sparky crazy. Now the Battle Ram, the charge damage is going down 11%. Now, keep in mind, Battle Ram is only 4 elixir. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, the Ram Rider might be a better option, but Ram Rider is still 5 elixir. So even though the Battle Ram's charge damage is going down 11%, it's still a pretty viable card, because it has the 2 Barbarians that drop as soon as the Ram takes into effect. So I don't think Battle Ram is dead. It just might be seen a little bit less, right? Because it was becoming super meta. And it is one of those bridge spam cards that, regardless of the fact, is pretty reliable. The Barbarian Hut is having a hit point reduction of 7%. So what that basically is self-explanatory. It's not going to stay on the field as long as it was before. So those no-skill decks are going to take a hit. And I think that this nerf will make a difference, where the Barbarian Hut is not going to be worth all the elixir that it costs. Next is the Barbarian Barrel. Now, this is a great card. It was really bad in the beginning. It became really good. It became too good. So I think that this change will make it perfect. So the deploy time will be reduced. I don't know how that's going to play when it comes to defending against Goblin Barrels. But for the most part, I think it's totally fine, because it covers a lot of ground as soon as it drops. So I don't think this is going to be a crazy change. My concern only is how effective it will be against the Goblin Barrel. And maybe even the Skeleton Barrel, right? Last but not least is the Valkyrie. Hit speed increase is going from 1.6 to 1.5. I'm not sure why the Valkyrie is getting a buff. But obviously the in-game devs know something I don't. They probably factored in some calculations, win rates, usage rates, and all that good stuff. But I don't think she needs to be changed. I thought she was pretty good. But regardless, if you guys have been upgrading the Valkyrie and you were using her a lot before, this is a good time to throw her back into lineups. And I think that Valkyrie will see an uptick with this. All right. So, folks, those are the changes. If you guys listened all the way through the video, then you're awesome. And I really think that you should hit the like button because obviously you enjoyed the content, right? And besides, it does help me out. Now, as far as everything else, I'm streaming again, folks, but I'm streaming on Twitch. I think it gives that community an opportunity to engage with my content. And it also gives me an opportunity to create more content at once so that I can give you guys a good sample size of what I think is important on the channel. So the channel is going to continue being guides and tips because at the end of the day, I want to help people become better players than myself. And I want to help the community. I love talking about Clash Royale. So if I can share tips, then it's all good, right? So other than that, appreciate the support. Thanks always, folks. Good luck on the draft challenge this weekend. I'm going to give it a try as well. And if you guys want in the comment section, let me know if you want to see some of my best highlights from that. All right? So other than that, peace out.